Welcome, welcome, welcome. Now it's a welcome, 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 as my internal timing was off. I am joined once again today by my intrepid co-host, Martina Grubmueller.
Now it worked. Now it worked. Now it worked. Hello, hello, hello. Sorry.
How you doing today, Martina?
I'm doing really well. Thank you.
Pleasure today, everyone, is a no plan show. For those of you who are new and don't know and scratching your head, what is a no plan? That means the plan is to have no plan for today's show. But we are going a step further where we are turning off the precognitive workforce. So we are going to the edge of the unknowingness and are going to dance the solid lines between knowingness and unknowingness with no plan as our permanent plan, where we are entering the fullness of our conscious awareness in the shaped and formed and the unshaped and unformed, and are going to create a show that is based on understanding the edge of unknowingness in that innocent state of being, of allowing. Now, Martina, you and I had a conversation, it was over the weekend, about a rigid type energy that can be its great benefit and limitation at the same time, which was the spark of this no plan show.
It was the spark. And, we often say that we have no plans. And I think every single one of our shows is probably a no plan. The difference today is that I personally have completely refused to look at any type of possibilities and to really be completely, I don't want to call it vulnerable, but you could use that word. I'm just here completely raw, and let's see what comes. What can we create with that rawness? And you mentioned something. You mentioned the unknowingness, and we keep talking about the edge of the unknowingness. And you know what? Fuck the edge. Let's go straight into the unknowingness. What does that actually look like, right?
Let's dive into the deep end of unknowingness.
What does that look like? And to be honest, guys, I have no idea.
It starts with no fear.
Okay.
There's not a shark in the deep end. Okay. There's no snakes. Nothing that will create fear in any way, shape, or form. It's not overly hot or overly cold water. It's a neutral temperature. And we can swim to the farthest edges of the deep end and still have an edge to go to if we want to.
So it's part of that staying completely present with what is, right? With what arises, without. It's almost like I'm really practicing this now. So it's like starting to talk without having any idea what's actually coming out of my mouth.
Right. Your precognitive workforce is being put on mute for a while.
Yes.
So and your postcognitive workforce is not engaged to help alter what you say post.
And it's interesting because from an energetic perspective, I can perceive them. I'm like, guys, just back off now. But I can perceive them. They're knocking on the door. No, what is this? We normally do this together. Isn't that fun together? But today it's like, let that be fun. Let that be a different type of experience.
Okay. And we're going to use a fishing terminology here, where we're going to go to the edge, the beach of unknowingness, and go to the very edge of the pier of unknowingness. And we are going to use our fishing rods to cast our consciousness into the great sea of unknowingness and see what's on the other side. So everyone, gather your fishing boxes, your chair, your little lunch pail, your particular bait, your little music radio, whatever it is you're going to need to take yourself to the beach of unknowingness and then onto the pier of unknowingness and walk out 2 miles onto the pier of unknowingness. And for each and every one, you are alone on your individual pier of unknowingness. There's no other fisher people there.
So it's almost like when I'm starting to look at that picture that you're painting here, it's like I'm with you though, right? Is that okay if I'm with you, or do I have to do my own bubble?
You and me, we could be together in this particular situation, but for everyone else that wants to do it, try to be in your own pier of the pier of unknowingness at the edge.
Mm-hmm. So what I'm doing now is I'm just allowing myself to drop the barriers. And when I say barriers, drop the definitions of what this show is, what we're trying to achieve, what people expect, what we have been doing before, and just look at that from a completely new terrain, right? And
Exactly.
let's expand ourselves out energetically. And as I'm doing this, we're starting to become denser, we become more expansive, more joyful. It's almost like, let's do something here. Let's take all the decisions, judgments, conclusions, assumptions, opinions. Let's drop them into the water.
They're just there as chum for the fish.
Yeah. And then we're going to take the oaths, vows, agreements, promises, and drop them into the water. And then we're going to take the emotions, right?
And the empathy.
Shame, blame, fear, anger, sadness, hurt, rejection, rigidity, innocence. Let's drop that. I love that sound.
All the psychic skills, throw them in the water.
All the psychic skills.
You don't need to be psychic right now.
Now drop your clothes. Let's be naked, guys. You're all in your own bubble. It's just me and Andrew together. Look away, Andrew. We're dropping our clothes.
I've got my fig leaf on.
Clothes. And just perceive how we expanding more and more. And then, of course, there's stuff coming up, right? Mm-hmm. Anything that comes up here, drop it. Now, can we go so far to drop our skin suits, Andrew?
Yes, we could become unshaped and unformed, where our senses become projectors of our shapeless and formless, shaped and formed shape.
So hear that. Our senses become projectors, not receivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now
we become part of the hologram that is unshaped and unformed.
So you become part of the hologram of the bubble that you're in. You become part of the hologram of the ocean. You become the ocean. You become the sea of consciousness, become the ocean of awareness. You become the infinite possibilities, right?
Mm-hmm.
You're light. You perceive yourself in that light. Take a deep breath in, actually, and just really take that in while I do it. Yeah. What do we do from here?
Here is where we let down all aspects of precognition, our inner desires to know something before anything happens. And we're going to continue with the metaphor of fishing. In our unshaped and unformed energy, in which our senses are projecting us to be a part of the hologram, we're going to create a fishing rod that has bait on it, a little bobber. For people that aren't familiar with fishing, a bobber is a little thing that floats on the top of the water. It tells you if the fish is biting on it or not. Mm-hmm. We're going to get it all set up. We're going to reshape and form our body. for a very long cast, as far as our consciousness of shaped and form will let this line go out into the oceans of awareness. 5 miles, 10 miles, 20 miles, 1,000 miles, it doesn't matter. We will still be able to see this bobber. Okay? We don't catch our ear with the hook. None of that happens. So we've casted that line way out there.
And then we just wait.
Then we shape and form a chair.
Okay.
and a drink. And a drink.
And a drink.
And a drink. Whatever you want. If you guys want a beer, if you want coffee, you want water, whatever there is for you. This act of shaping and forming still has no precognition. It's what the innocent inner you needs for fulfillment. Okay? The part of this journey is fulfilling ourselves on the edge of the unknowingness.
In the expanded space of the innocent you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that of course brings up, what does innocence even feel like? Can you perceive what that feels like for you without having to put words to it? Because I'm already I'm already wanting to put words to that now. So I'm going to refrain from that.
Let me guide a little bit here.
Yes.
So put your consciousness into the edge of the string. Go up to the edge of the rod where the rod's doing this, and allow your consciousness to go down the string and be in the tip of the bobber.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Mm-hmm. And then feel the string below the bobber and the bait.
Mm-hmm.
And bring light to the hook and the bait.
Yes.
And there is a portal around the hook. And that portal is the pure unknowingness, edge of unknowingness. And we've stretched our consciousness as far away from our body as could possibly be. We are on the edge of the pier of the edge of unknowingness. And we are now waiting with our consciousness for the universe to send us a 8th color time fish, in which we do not know what the 8th color of time looks like. We have no precognition, no postcognition, and no inner relevance to what an 8th color could look like. Just allow yourself to begin to potentially perceive what's nibbling on that bait.
I'm getting a real fish, actually, but it's see-through. I can see the organs and everything inside the fish, and it's got sparkles. No spikes. I mean spikes. It's like one of those blowfish. That's what it looks like. Mm-hmm. And as I look closer now, the organs are compartments. And those compartments are places and spaces you can go and visit as you go through that portal. Mm-hmm. And it is inviting me now to enter one of those compartments.
Okay. Is it still nibbling on the bait? Is it luring you to the other side?
Yeah, it's inviting me.
Okay, then follow through. Go to the other side. Go down the line, out the hook, and into the portal.
Yep. Right into the digestive system. Takes me right into the digestive system there.
Which is that fish's dreaming world.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. What's that fish dream of?
It's got jars in there. Lots and lots of different jars. And all those different jars are filled with different dreaming minds. Mm-hmm. And they are thousands of them. Mm-hmm. And you can go there and take one jar off that shelf and open it up if you wanted to. So, but he doesn't want me to do that now. He just wants me to, the fish, he just wants me to look at it, what's available there.
That's his archive.
It's an archive, yeah. And there's actually certain dreaming jars that have names, particular names on it. So I would assume there is a jar for every single one.
Is there a jar with your name on it?
Yes.
Go to that jar.
All right. Well, do you want me to open it?
No, perceive it.
Well, it's a jar just as big as all the others, and it's pulsing inside. And of course, I want to open it, but I am thinking.
Well, let's talk to the fish before we manipulate his dreaming goods. We don't want to do the whole Galactic Tinder thing.
Yeah,
Ask him his name.
Oh, the fish.
Yeah. Does he have a name?
Yeah, Charlie.
Charlie the fish.
Okay. Charlie the fish. He thought it was funny, you know.
Okay.
Charlie the fish, yeah.
So ask Charlie about this dreaming jar that's got your name on it.
Yeah, I mean, basically, you know, I can go there at any time and open that jar, and you know, it's almost like in a library, you know. You can go there, you can open your jar, you can look inside, you can allow whatever's in there to come out. There's only one thing: you have to close it back down again once you're done. You have to close it again. And of course, you know, what he's saying to me is, you know, you don't even have to come literally through that visualization process. You can do that just when you go to sleep, you know, and just say, hey, I'm going to connect to that jar.
Okay. So go ahead and open the jar up.
Okay. It's like worms. It's like, whoa, there's so much energy. It's like whoosh, it's all coming out, you know, wanting to, and it's all surrounding me now.
Allow it to have some shape and form so you can begin to perceive it.
It's almost like my I am jar, my I am apex present jar that I have.
And why is your I am apex jar in the gut of a fish in the 8th color of time? Because it's a children's story. Innocent. And it's what needed to get our serious selves here.
So what? What does that mean?
Innocently, it's the story that we needed, that we didn't adhere to, but allowed to flow.
Right. Innocence. Being in no sense.
Yeah, exactly.
It makes no sense, Charlie.
Because this realm is a projection of our senses, not a reception of our senses.
Yes.
Okay.
So are you saying I can do innocence?
Absolutely you can. It's just there's certain neural pathways that it's easier for you to not do innocence.
Yeah.
Like a well-worn train, a well-worn road that's got, you know, wheel holes or tire ruts in it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So how does it go?
Allow this stuff to take shape and form. And what does it innocently reveal to you?
The multitude of lifetimes. The color, it's almost like it's see-through because there's so many different colors in there. It's almost like an accumulation of, I wouldn't say that, well, I don't know, the last million years, you know. And it's the pressure, the preciousness in there. So all the crap has already been distilled out, you know. They didn't put everything in. It's almost like the preciousness of all the me's, all the lifetimes, everything put together in that jar.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not supposed to be overwhelming or anything. And also there's another thing in there. You don't just take everything out.
Mm-hmm.
Go there. Like, when you fish, you take the fish and you throw it back into the water, right?
Yep, for the next generation.
Yeah. And even for yourself a little bit,
Mm-hmm.
knowing that you can go back and forth. And every time you go and meet the fish again, you go through the portal, you can learn more about yourself.
Okay.
Mm.
So let's pack this back up.
Mm-hmm.
Move ourselves back out of the intestinal tract of Charlie the fish, back into our fishing line, back into our bobber, back down the line, all the way back into our shaped and formed body, reel back in the line, and download this experience of innocence into our DNA memories.
Okay, let's take a few minutes actually of breathing, because you've all done that too, that exercise. Just give yourself that moment of stillness here. And it's a receiving energy, so you just really pull that energy in.
This is where our senses stop projecting and receive the download.
You're still in that expanded space, so it's very simple actually to just receive all of that. Could almost imagine that you bring it into the cells of the body, into the bloodstream, the lymphatics, into,
Mm-hmm.
organs and everything, and just allow that to just expand that innocence, that joyfulness, that childlikeness.
Mm-hmm.
That is actually so ancient.
Mm-hmm.
It makes me realize how beautiful the ancient wisdom actually is, right?
Mm-hmm.
How simple, how dense in light. Hasn't got any of that, I don't want to call it rigidity again, but any of that
The serious energy behind it.
serious energy behind it, exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Okay. Now you've downloaded this information and feel it percolate inside you. We are now transforming this experience of chemical memory into light memory that will always be a part of us. This is another edge of unknowingness experience, to actively take an experience that is a chemical experiencing memory and make it a light-based memory also, so that it is completely uploaded to our light body frequency.
There's this connection now. It's not, I don't just feel that inside of myself, I feel that all around myself.
Mm-hmm.
And there's this connection that can be instant in the thought that you think about it. Whenever you think in that moment, there's that connection. It's just really an acknowledgement.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Now that this experience is reaching a completion point, we're going to allow the day turn to night. And we're going to look up into the sky and see the great Milky Way out there. And instead of casting into the ocean of awareness, that's the ocean in front of us, we're going to cast into the Milky Way. Really go to the edge of our unknowingness. So wind up that energy. Put that bait on there. And allow yourself to cast this line out to the farthest edges of the galaxy. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So your psychic bobber and your bait is in some nebula millions of light years away. Go through the process of connecting your consciousness to the line and allow your senses to project up the line, pulsing energy, that line that's deep into that nebula, and going to the bobber. You are still shaped and formed with the rod in your hand, and you are unshaped and formed as an energy consciousness in the bobber, who is now going to trickle down part of your consciousness into the bait. And your consciousness is now projecting a pheromone to attract the greatest unknowingness in the nebula.
Mm-hmm.
And just allow your consciousness to see out from the perspective of the bait. What's
Getting
it
you,
see?
yeah.
What's it see?
I'm seeing a absolutely stunning landscape, and it's giving me a little bit that scene in Avatar.
Mm-hmm.
You know, with the mountains hanging mountains,
Mm-hmm.
and dragons and other winged beings, and all different kinds of species, all different bodies, all different shapes, forms, energy, different energies, but everything seems to somehow work together.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to turn up your pheromone energy, projected through the bobber into the bait. And these pheromones are attracting the unknowingness. Something beyond precognition, beyond vision, beyond prophecy, beyond the DNA. And just let it permeate this realm. It's going into the very fabric of that realm.
Yeah, it doesn't allow me to use any metaphor that we know. It's almost undefinable, to the extent that it's like just a flickering type energy.
Allow yourself to give that some form of shape and form. It's a delicate co-creation with it.
I don't know if I make it. It turns into a dragon.
Okay, then let it be a dragon.
It's an absolutely beautiful, colorful, all colorful dragons.
Mm-hmm.
Just one.
Okay. Does it have anything to say to you?
It just looks at me. It says, go beyond words. It's inviting me to go beyond words.
Does it want you to go for a ride with it?
Not just yet. It just wants to allow me to connect to the energy more.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is inviting me now. Yeah. And it's ever so gentle.
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, totally flattening itself so that, it doesn't take me a lot of effort to get on it. And it just takes me from there. It just takes very gentle, very slow. showing me the place.
Okay. So it's being your tour guide.
It's been my tour guide, yes.
So on the left are the shimmering falls of Ever After. On your right is the pool of great self-reflection. And allow yourself to fill in the tour guide's voice. This is your edge of your unknowingness. And don't let any shutdown protocols step in here. Okay?
It's happening it's almost like happening at the same time as he's showing me the left side, which is all part of me. Mm-hmm. Again, it's a bit like that jar initially was left. It's like the past, the ancient past. Whereas the right side is the future. And I have to look at it first, allow myself to just quickly get a sense of what it is before I allow it to come together, because it has to be together. It can't be just this or that.
Okay.
Because it's all the same, not the same, but part of each other.
Right.
To start stretching out in front of me now. So we are flying through it now as it all comes together from left and right, mm-hmm. in a sort of a straight line ahead.
Allow your consciousness to connect to the brain of the dragon so that you can flow with its words as a tour guide, so your 3D self can have that as an experience.
Do you want me to say that now, yeah?
Yeah. I want you to actually connect to the brain of the dragon, and so it can be your verbal tour guide through the 3D expression.
Right. Okay, so I'm asking you to hold on tightly now as we're moving through the waves of consciousness. We're going from the left to the right without a particular linearity. Just allow yourself to take in those energies. Just keep breathing those energies in, and they will be familiar to you. You can close your eyes or you can keep them open. And just trust. You're safe. You're holding on. So you can allow yourself to be just curious on that journey of finding yourself, of finding out who you truly are. And I've always been with you. There hasn't been one moment where I haven't.
Dawn of all your eternal births.
Yes. All you need to do is call on me, and then I will take you wherever you want to go. So it's showing me the many, many lifetimes of having been a warrior, showing me on that left side, showing me all those battlefields, mm-hmm. all these different all the different places, all the different people, the different ranks I've been as we go. And there's a shitload of those. Mm-hmm. And then there's always this link into the future there, mm-hmm. which looks different, but energetically there is certain things connect, like the energy of the potency, or even the vulnerability is something that it's irreversible. It's always there and it's always available. It can't be destroyed. It can't be. It's just a matter of focus. Do you require it there, here, now?
I want you to have him align up the many potential lines of the future in an awakened state where this realm has gone through 50% of its awakening journey, and we're well on the journey of letting go of the system of domination and control, and travel down one of those lines of potential future and allow him to describe to you in this tour of this potential line of the future what that world looks like.
It's a highly, interestingly enough, it looks very technologically advanced. Mm-hmm. But when I look closer, it's a very natural living space. It just looks, because it looks so different.
Mm-hmm. How far into the future is it?
I mean, we've gone quite far, to be honest. But if
1,000 years, 100,000 years, 5 years?
No, I'd say 1,000 years.
Okay.
I'd say 1,000 years there.
Have him help you go find the future you in that realm.
Yeah, I'm working I'm working in a lab. Yeah. I'm not a scientist as such, but at that stage, it's not really so defined what you are. It's an energy that I provide, and everyone that is in that lab, it's more of an energy. We don't define ourselves with certain names or, positions. It's just an energy. Mm-hmm. And by us just being together in that room, we are working out certain, mm-hmm. how to create more of that interesting technology or houses or that type of stuff, but it's more just an energetic, and there are no words either.
Okay. So ask her a question.
Yeah, she says hello. Yeah. Okay, good to see you. I'm not even surprised that I'm there, Uh-huh. And it's like, just really, the message for me is really, there's nowhere you need to be. You need to go. You need to seek out, because everything is available.
Right.
It's that. It doesn't matter if it's in the future or if it's in the past, or, there is no such thing. It's all a matter of perception.
And on this journey of perception, on the edge of unknowingness, there's a unique experience with your traveling guide. That is a state of innocence that can unravel as a unique story of perception.
And the other thing I'm taking away from this is it's the giving is in the receiving. Mm-hmm. It's in the receiving of the visual. It's in the receiving of. It's not a doing. Well, it's not a having to present myself as something or somebody. Uh-huh. It's almost like this is your energy, and we acknowledge your energy for what it is. So just receive the energy. And as I receive the energy, it becomes fuel for them, in this particular case, to do what they want to do. So it's almost like by not receiving, you're holding back on yourself and on your future self and past self and all of that.
Okay. Now we're gonna up the game a little bit here.
Okay.
I want you to create another line of potential that leads into the present you now presenter body, who's having this multidimensional experience. And bring the dragon and you riding it into the line of potential that is you unfolding in the ever-present moment of now. So this is, in a sense, you casting a line into yourself.
Yes.
And allow yourself to be the descriptor on the way to you of the present now.
It's a similar message almost. The message is about true receiving. It's about allowing myself to be in that expanded space and recognizing that the limitations are concepts. And every concept, every thought, every is a concept as such that is limiting. And
I'm going to go on mute and just allow you to flow for 2 minutes without any input for me.
Okay.
And don't have your shutdown programs turn on.
Okay. So the mastery itself comes through the not wanting anything. At the end of the day, we are all ascended masters. And yes, there is the work and the ability to respond and all of that. But on some level, we are already complete. We are whole. And in order to step into that wholeness, that oneness of who we truly are, we need to really let go, or I need to let go, as this is coming back to me here, and stay in that flow, stay in that resonance, that infinite flow, without having in the unlimited point of view, keeping those barriers down, trusting the unknowingness, and at the same time allowing yourself to go beyond that, beyond the unknowingness, because the knowingness is part of that space of the unknowingness. Because once you take away the definitions, it all becomes just one again.
And I'm going to help you up the game. One more thing here.
Yeah.
Project your line of potential into your heart. So in your heart is you riding the dragon, coming up your tongue, so that you are conjoining the projections and line of potential with this ever-present I am now, heart-tongue unity.
There's the separation between heart, tongue is not even there. There's not even a heart there. There is just that allowance of just allowing yourself to use that instrument, that voice, that mouth to open, and everything just flows out. And it doesn't have to make any sense, because it will make sense to some and not to the other. But there is this multicolored pool of all different types of selections that you can pull from. And all you need to do is just be. There is this huge thing of silence that is coming through. There's just allowing yourself to be silent.
That is an old neural pathway coming through, trying to stop the flow of words. This isn't a silent state. This is an expressive, projective state.
Yeah. So let's pull that. Let's pull that. But give me another question.
Increase the focus so that in your heart is you riding the dragon, and that you riding the dragon is in the ever-present you now as a projection and a reception, and that is coming up the tongue, which is a part of the superhighway of brain to heart.
And what is the dragon wanting to say?
It isn't what the dragon wants to say. It's what you bonded with the dragon in your I am now has to receive, tell, perceive, receive all at the same time. This is challenging unknowingness within the body itself. Remember, the body is always part of the experience.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's almost like, but that seems to be the program where it just says, no, just allow that, just pull that energy in, right?
And say something, even if it's just ooh goo gaga beginning baby words.
Right.
Or light language, okay? Make a manifestation with it.
Yeah, yeah. It's okay to be still. And I know that's not the program talking. There's a deep learning for me to allow myself to be still.
Is the stillness as a complex being or one specific part of the body, mind, and spirit?
It's one part of it, right?
Which part?
The stillness.
Which part of the body, mind, or spirit needs the stillness?
The body needs the stillness. The body needs the stillness.
Bring the stillness to the body, but allow the high frequency and vibration of the heart to ride up the tongue.
Mm-hmm. It's very interesting. It's very interesting that pause. Is that the program? Or is that just what is required right now?
That is your edge of unknowingness in which you do not know, and you must step off the edge of that unknowingness to know.
So let me step off that edge. Okay, so this is interesting. So so I've been standing on the edge. I haven't allowed myself to step over it. Because when I'm on the edge, there is just space. There's nothing. So as I'm taking that first step now, taking my body with me and step over it, it's almost like there is now this fabrication, there is now this building, everything becomes alive now. There's an aliveness to that. And it's I don't want to call it confusing, but it's alive, it's dynamic, it's radiant. There's lots and lots going on. And how do I feel about that as I go into that? It's I like it. I like it.
Let that energy ride up the tongue.
Ride it up the tongue. What you mean is, and then let me express with it.
Yes.
Is that what you say?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm walking through this radiant space here, and I'm being greeted. Those people, they know me, and they shake, they wave their hands, and they offer.
Charlie the fish over there.
Yeah, he's there in the back there, but that's not even, yeah, he's there. Yeah. He's there. He's like, yeah, okay. But no, there's so much going on. It's like a market, big, like one of those galactic markets, if you want. Lots of stalls everywhere, walking up to me and offering me their wares. You know, it's like they know me there. You know, I've been there obviously before. I go there quite often.
So go find a falafel dealer.
A falafel dealer, yes.
Okay, and exchange wisdom for a falafel. Okay.
So what do you?
And then you're gonna bite into it and allow that energy bubbling up into your tongue to taste this infinite falafel.
And you want me to describe now what that
is?
Like?
Yes. Fully off the edge of the unknowingness.
Oh God, okay. So as I'm biting into it, I can I feel the texture of the falafel. What is it made out of? Peanut. You see
chickpeas. It's ground chickpeas. And then it's got cilantro and whatchamacallit in it. It's got a bunch of greens in it, yeah.
So there's a spiciness to it, you know. There's a spiciness to it, and as it touches my tongue, it's almost like it dissolves in the mouth. And as it does dissolve in the mouth, there's an instant kick of energy that searches through my heart, that searches through my veins. It's almost like I'm taking off. It's taking me up a little bit. It's a magic fucking falafel by the sounds of it. And this guy just looks at me and you know, what does he want in return? He said, he doesn't want anything, because just me having that experience is actually such a pleasure, because he has a very secret ingredient that he puts into that falafel, and he doesn't give that to everyone. Only the ones that are allowing themselves to put themselves out there. And it gives me a sauce as well. Now that's a very
mystical tahini.
Yeah, that's a very mystical, magical sauce. You know, and as I bring that onto my lips, it's almost like, whoa, you know. There's no spice. It's a bit of a sweetness to it, a bit sweet and sour type thing. And it just, you know, blends so nicely with everything. I can feel the warmth in my heart, and I can feel, you know, my entire skin almost pouring out that energy, that is that enough tongue up there?
Keep going.
Oh God. Okay.
That's your shutdown program. Too much unknowingness.
Okay. No, and so he invites me to sit down, actually, because he wants to tell me a story. And he's got a drink for me now because of the spiciness of the falafel, you know. So he gives me that drink, which comes in a very interesting, it's a bottle, but not a normal bottle. It's a very round bottle there, you know. And as I pour the liquid into my little glass, it's only a tiny glass, I can't have a lot because it's very potent. It's like liquid gold coming out, you know. It's a bit sticky type thing, and I pour it out. And before I taste it, he needs to tell me that story. Okay. And that story is, I got myself into that story is all about the senses. It's all about the senses. What he's trying to say is that we working with our five senses, the experience that I've just had was far beyond the five senses. Because it wasn't just that I tasted it, I felt it, it did something to, you know, it actually activated something within myself, a knowingness, an ancient knowingness that will assist me in my further evolution. And I have prepared that falafel with him in some lifetime before I actually came to taste it now. So he's given me that understanding that this is not something weird. This is, again, very familiar to me. I was part of creating that.
Mm-hmm.
And now is the time for me to drink that golden liquid.
Okay.
And as I drink that golden liquid now, there's this peacefulness. There's even more. I was peaceful already before, but there was this dynamic tasting session, and now that it's almost like this golden liquid just surrounds me inside, outside, my aura and everything, and it's just sealing off that experience for me to bring it back,
to upload it into light memory.
To upload it into light memory, yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, I can call it all that, but it's just the feeling of it is almost more important. But yes, it is this uploading it into my light memory so that I have then access to it, at any moment.
Mm-hmm.
It's there, is it in my skull cap? It's anywhere. It's outside of myself. It's inside of myself. It doesn't really matter. But what is also saying is it's like, don't define it as something that you need. Otherwise, you are less if you don't have it, because you have it all the time. So it's a letting go again.
Okay.
Knowing that it's there. It's trusting that knowing unknowingness that has become known now, and anything that doesn't allow me to know that I know, even if I don't think I know, I can let that go now. Flush it down with that golden liquid.
Okay. Allow this experience to complete itself. Get back on the dragon, fly out of your heart, back into that original realm where you saw future self, back to the corridors of the realities until you're back into your fishing line. Allow the dragon to go off. He's always with you. And begin to bring your consciousness back down the line into the fishing rod, back into your shapeless informed and shaped informed body on the pier of unknowingness, at the edge of unknowingness, in the ocean of awareness. And draw that line back in from their galactic cast. Reel it in.
Mm-hmm.
And there's your bobber and your hook without bait.
Mm-hmm.
And that is how we generate an experience in unknowingness.
Beautiful.
Powerful experience.
Well, thank you for guiding me.
Okay. And now for just a second, I want you to the right of yourself, that serious program of always identifying and processing. I want you to share the experience with it and watch how it over processes, but not allow it to change the experience.
So as I do that, I get already a lot of feedback there, like the old judgmental voice, okay, so you said this, and why did you say that, and what did that mean now, and does that actually make sense, and how can we interpret that in a different way, and all that,
Mm-hmm.
and how can we, in particular, how can we use that to teach others, to help others, and all that, how can we put it into bites that everyone can understand it, right?
Mm-hmm.
How could we create a program out of it, for everyone to get their rods together, so it's already creating a workshop. It's really all of that. And
Mm-hmm.
all I can say to that is thank you very much, but this was just for me, just for fun. And that's it.
And that's it. And therefore your experience hasn't changed.
No, it hasn't changed.
Okay.
It hasn't changed.
And you've enlightened yourself on many more layers by allowing that experience to show you how overthinking, overdoing, over self-teaching, and over-teaching others can lead you away from some very unique experiences that are just waiting for you to get off the edge of unknowingness and get out of your own way.
Yeah. Yeah. So that thing about innocence, you know, it's like we were chatting before, because, you know, getting to that place of innocence is the way I looked at it. And this was very much now part of this visualization. It's like having to make sense versus being in no sense, you know? And I think, you know, this is now obviously, you know, coming from a teaching perspective, from my experience as a receiver, as a forced receiver of a lot of sensual experience, you know, as a forced receiver of a lot of information that from a very early age onwards, and also, you know, wearing a skin suit that is pretty much predestined to work with all that force, right? And to make sense of it, and how that becomes the limitation that doesn't allow you to maintain that childlike innocence, right?
Yeah, exactly. You are able to maintain that childlike innocence.
And it's not, that even is confusing too, because it doesn't even feel, I don't even feel like a childlikeness. I feel an ancient innocence, you know?
Mm-hmm.
There's just a lightness to that. That can't even be, well, you could call it child, but you could be an ancient, you know, elderly, and still have the same innocence, right?
Absolutely.
And the one thing does not exclude the other. And that's the strength and the beauty to maintain that innocence, or at least, you know, keep on going back to it and allow it into your field, so that you can then combine it with all the other elements that are available to you.
Beautiful. Once again, Martina, a no plan that is very successful. Okay.
Well, thanks,
there was no plan in this process whatsoever. It was literally all on the fly.
On the fly. Fly fishing.
Exactly. All on the fly.
And
how can people recreate that in themselves? Choice.
Yeah.
Choice. It is a choice to be in that state where you are shaped and formed and unshaped and formed, and allowing your senses to be the projector of the experience.
And you know, it's really the allowance as well to just make it up, because who makes it up?
Exactly. Who makes it up? And
Yeah.
there's nothing wrong with making it up. It's still an experience of wisdom.
Yes. And it's always like when you say, okay, well, there's this pause, and I'm like, okay, is this now the pause that is required in this particular, or am I not allowing myself to make it up? It's that when the old program comes in that says, oh, that's not magical, that's not mystical, that's not innocence, because it has to look like this. And what if it doesn't have to look like anything that you think it has to look like?
Mm-hmm.
Because what if you take away all those projections and expectations and, you know, assumptions? I've heard this the other day. I was listening to one of my Kundalini guys, and they were talking about assumptions. Assume. You're making an ass out of you and me. A-S-U-M-E. Any assumption that we make, we're making an ass out of ourselves, you know? And I thought it was such a cool way of looking at it. And it really is. And it's not about knowledge. It's not about facts and figures. It's about just playing.
And in that playful state is the edge of unknowingness experiences, where you as the creator are co-creating the unknown experience.
And it's so much more than just a story.
Exactly. It's wisdom unfolding in front of you.
And the interesting thing is once you created that, it will start developing.
Mm-hmm.
It will start growing. It will, the jar with the dream. I mean, this is now, I will be going back there, connecting to the dragon, connecting to the fish, to all of that, until you start really, like you always say, you start emanating that energy instead of emulating it.
Exactly. Now it's time for us to turn to the callers. So if you are listening on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Twitch, or anywhere else, and want to be a part of the Zoom room, Robert has all the information for you to come into the Zoom room. We're going to ask people who want to be a caller to go ahead and click on the participants button and click raise your hand. So if you have called in the last month, we ask that you not raise your hand. We want to get everyone have a chance and an opportunity to call in. So we are going to be selecting callers. You could also call in via the phone numbers that are there too. So if you want to call in via using your phone numbers, the US, Canada, United Kingdom, and Australian numbers are there for you. You just have to see the meeting ID number and the passcode, which are there on the screen. So Martina, we had a very powerful experience. And we're asking people who have raised their hand that this is not about a private session for you and your woes and your pity parties that are around you. It's about the creative experience you might have experienced, and then what might help you to get back to that journey. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who wants to have a conversation with us.
Okay, first person getting a signal is Sarah Gilbo.
Sarah Gilbo, are you there?
I am.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Central New York.
Central New York. Welcome to the show. What did you think of what we just did?
I loved it, and I was a little curious on where mine was. I kind of went to like a moon type planet, and I saw like Thanos type creatures from like Marvel.
Mm-hmm. So what about him?
I was just wondering because he was kind of like saying he was more like that was my home planet and he was like my father. So I was wondering, like, does that have any type of like that might be really where I might be from as a soul?
So is that you creating it, or is that some external source creating it?
I don't know.
Well, then that's why you have to go and recreate the experience and find out. This isn't about us to tell you what things are. It's your creation. That's the whole point of the experience.
And the main thing is to try not to validate it, or to just not seeking validation for it. And if you do seek validation, then seek it within yourself. It's a sense. How did you feel when you had that experience? Because whatever Andrew now says, does that really make a difference? When you did that visualization, how did it feel for you?
She's muted now. You got to, Sarah, you got to unmute yourself again. For some reason you got muted again. There you go.
Sorry.
It's okay.
I see what you're saying, Martina, and I kind of was, I see more what you're talking about in myself, kind of like feeling the void of the father figure maybe and finding that home.
See, you got an answer right away. Okay.
So what is it that you know exactly? That you're not acknowledging that you know. That if you would acknowledge it, you didn't have to ask that kind of question. And it's really, really important to get to that place of allowing yourself to just ask yourself the question, what is it that I actually know? Because to be honest, you are the only one who knows.
Thank you guys.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thank
All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, Ray Vine getting a signal to unmute.
Ray Vine, are you there?
Hello,
Hi, where are you calling from?
Pennsylvania. It's super cold here.
Welcome to the show. What did you think of the visualization we went through?
I'll be honest, I know a lot of us are working. So while I was working, I felt like it was easier to do the fish one. I immediately felt in a huge alignment with that. I was like, oh, wow, I see the inside of the fish. I see the water. But as soon as we started doing the longer one, I found that my stamina kind of went down, my focus. And I only went as far as like through that portal and then bright light. And I saw like beach and water. And I just went kaput. But I kept trying to come back. I thought
when you
Go
say
ahead.
kaput, was I can go no farther and there's a chain on your experience, or was you're just unable to stay focused?
Wow, that's a really good question. Let me think. Maybe unable to stay focused.
I think it's more of a chain.
You think?
You can't go any farther. Your shutdown program's turned on, meaning
believe-
the frequency was too high for you, and whatever some of your earlier psychic experiences in life, you just like a nuclear power plant has shutdown programs so it doesn't melt down. You've
Yep.
got some shutdown programs that activated because XX or X was triggered within you.
Yep. 2012, I blew open, and then I had to go to a lot of psychic development classes to kind of hone it in and not shut it down, but survive.
Figure it out.
Yep. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But it was really great. I do your heart meditation almost every morning, and every couple of days, if I miss it, I can feel a complete difference in my life.
Mhm. So for you, recreating this experience will just be listening to the journey that Martina and I created. And then after a while, taking us out of the experience and replacing yourself in the experience.
Okay.
And then when the shutdown programs do turn on, it is where the innocent you has to step forward and put those shutdown programs in a box that doesn't have access to your sympathetic and parasympathetic form of experience.
Okay. Box.
Okay,
Parasympathetic. Yep. I remember those terms.
Okay. Martina, you want to add anything there?
I mean, the whole journey was very much working with innocence, so that you can always look with, what does actually innocence mean to you? And then, really let go of anything that doesn't allow you to be innocent, and take that as well and put it into the box. It is those programs really, but it's really nice to identify those programs at times,
Okay.
your awareness, put them in the box, and then do the journey. And don't seek the mystical.
Mhm.
Don't make this a mystical journey. Just make it a realization.
Make it a personal revelation journey that doesn't need to be mystical.
And can you do it without telling anyone?
Good one.
Get out of my head. I tell my sister like everything, because I'm like, oh, this is the only person that has my weird flag, right? Don't tell anyone. Okay.
No sharing. That's
No sharing.
for you, just for fun.
Okay. I'll just write it. Writing's fine, right? Because I journal a heck of a lot.
Mhm.
But never, ever, ever share it.
Just not right away.
Got
Keep
it. Not right away.
In a month's time, come across the story. Hey, yeah, okay. Then you can. But it's that thing of, no, you don't. This is for you. This is your nourishing. No, you're nurturing. You do this for yourself.
It's my, that makes sense now, actually. Thank you.
It will make the experience greater the longer you wait to be able to share it.
Ooh.
Because you can go back and get more and more and more and more out of it, like a giant gold mine.
Awesome. Because normally when I have experiences like the ones you guys are doing awake, it's usually in my sleep. So doing this awake is completely different.
And you'll do it fine. You just got to give yourself some effort. And again, putting anything in that's going to take you away from that innocent edge of unknowingness experience, put it in the box. Tell it to shut the fuck up. Click, in the box. You're in timeout.
Shut the fuck up. Got it.
Exactly. You're timed out. Okay.
Yeah.
All right,
Oh,
Don.
God.
Thanks a lot for calling in.
All right. Bye now.
All right. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who's next.
Chloe, getting a signal to unmute.
Chloe, are you there?
Hi.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Eastern New York.
Eastern New York. Welcome to the show. What did you
Thanks.
think of the process that we went through?
It was really cool. I was actually about to lower my hand. I've been working on like solidifying the trust in myself, but I had a really hard time like letting go and actually letting the experience happen. The previous caller, you had talked about her putting the sympathetic and parasympathetic programs in a box so they can't take over the experience. I was just writing that down because that's actually a lot of the work that I've been doing as to how to, get rid of these programs that are running me that don't allow me to have the experience.
Well, then this will be a great thing for you to try so that you can have the experience and learn how to mute them and put them in the box.
Yeah.
Remember in the very beginning, we started off doing that, taking all the programs and everything, putting it into a box, and taking all the contracts, all the emotions, the clothes. Just imagine yourself walking along that beach or wherever else, and you got those 5-6 boxes, and you just put them all there. And you know that you can always take them back on your way back if you want to. It's all there, because sometimes people feel naked before even taking the clothes off, but it's always there. It's just once you then have done it and you go on your journey, you most likely won't have to take it back.
Right. Yeah, no, I guess it's just that trust that I struggle with so much. It's of just the allowance and then being able to receive and to just let go, like to not be holding on so tight, I guess. But thank you. This was a really awesome show to be a part of. And I want to go back and listen to it again and keep trying to implement it and into my own journey and to be able to do it. This was really cool.
So something on a side note, when you're having major trust issues with yourself, you have to separate what is self-trust and not trusting your environment.
Right.
Traumas that have caused you to not trust your environment are separate than the traumas that create no trust in yourself. They may cross over in other traumatic experiences, but breaking down why you don't trust so that you can begin to trust the environment, so you can break down the non-trust programs, so you can begin to trusting yourself enough to create an experience for you that isn't going to be dark or negative.
Wow. Thank you.
You're welcome. All right, Donald, thanks a lot for calling in. We're going to move on to our next caller.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, Safe, next on the list.
Safe, are you there?
Hi, yes.
Hi, where are you calling from?
Hi, from Germany.
From Germany. Welcome to the show. What did you think of today's
Thank
experience?
Oh, I loved it. It was amazing. I tuned in about 6 minutes into the show where you were at the part of like letting go of everything.
Mm-hmm.
It really resonated. I was doing an online improvisation course yesterday, and we were creating together with three people, and we started off with a poem that we just read out a poem, and then started creating this story together about letting go of all of the news media, like newspapers stuck to your skin, and then everything else, and starting to receive information from the senses. So it felt very like a continuation of the same thing.
So do you have any specific questions for us?
Yeah, I did. Let me go to it. I wanted to ask, when the part after going to So when you did the first part of the timeline with going to the future, and then there was the second one of going to your present self, and I got a bit lost there with when you're journeying to the present self. Are you doing it from the future, from where you're at?
You were already had casted a line out into the galaxy, into a nebula, then brought your consciousness down the line into the bobber and met the dragon.
Yeah.
And you went on to the other side in the nebula. So you're already on the other side. So technically you're projecting back to your present self, but not through the line, the fishing line. You're going from the nebula to back to you, to be in your heart as part of that co-creative tongue. And this is part of stacking the multidimensional experience, which makes it be deeper into the edge of into the unknowingness. You're long ways from the edge. The edge is not even visible at that particular point. You can't just grab onto the ledge anymore. And I did that particularly in that visualization process so that her shutdown programs, if they were going to activate, they were going to try to shut her down there. And your particular shutdown programs couldn't allow you to get to that next level where you've already gone through a portal deep on the other side of the universe and then to project back to yourself without going through the backwards process.
Yeah, I kind of got stuck there.
Yeah. Which is your own multi-dimensional limitation on unlimited point of view. So practicing that experience and understanding that the dragon is the great, it can take you anywhere in the multiverse. There is no limitation in where it can take you. Okay, Martina?
Yeah, I'm just wondering, you might not have a dragon, you might have something else. You might have a unicorn, you might have a horse or something that, or not an animal at all. That came up for myself there, So allow yourself to come up with whatever comes up.
Yeah, it was actually a dragon as well. Yeah, but
All right, darling. Thanks a lot for calling in. We want to get everyone as possible to talk about their experience today. Thanks a lot. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Hilary Berteau.
Hilary Berteau, are you there?
Yes, hello.
Hi, where are you calling from?
From Marietta, Georgia.
Marietta, Georgia. Welcome to the show. What did you think of the process we ran through today?
It felt so good and nourishing and expansive, and it was a great follow-up to, I just had a conversation with David, his 30-minute consultation from the show you two did together, and it was so in alignment with our conversation that it felt like this nourishing hug.
Oh, wonderful.
And when we got to the part of, as soon as you said the words, connecting your heart to your tongue, I started singing. It flowed out of me, this song of just kind of like, Mama. I just wanted to feel that vibration. And wow, it feels really good. I've never had an experience like this before.
Beautiful.
Is it something you can recreate?
That's what I'm wondering. I'm trying to look at what would that look like for me? Do I listen to the replays or do I just guide myself and say, okay, let's get to that place?
Are you a storyteller?
I think I'm in denial about being a storyteller.
You just got to find that inner storyteller.
Okay.
And allow yourself to create the story without having to judge yourself in the creation process, so that it is a unique experience for you the deeper and deeper you get into the storytelling process.
Okay. So what comes up for me when you say storyteller is I love an audience. So if I'm telling a story to an audience, like I'm trying to, so I get.
But you are your own infinite audience.
Okay.
You could populate the room with many versions of yourself.
Ah, okay. I like that.
Okay, Martina, you want to add anything to that?
I think that's a very good idea to say that, because make that story, like we said early on to another caller, make it for yourself, but acknowledge that you yourself are so many different shards, parts, and avatars, so you can entertain the entirety of yourself. Because I'll tell you one thing now, they are the worst critics.
Exactly.
They will give you feedback. That was crap. That was this, that, So use them. And then, of course, if you love that sort of stuff, then, go and do it in a group. Make it your own. Make it a profession.
I love it. Thank you so much. This is fun.
You're so welcome. So did you connect deeply to any other parts of the experience?
I didn't see necessarily a dragon, but then as soon as Martina said dragon, that lights me up. I was born in the year of the fire dragon, so I feel like dragon medicine is strong with me, and especially the flames and breathing fire. Sometimes I just want to burn shit down with my fiery breath. It's very gratifying to visualize that, of just like leveling stuff to the ground with fire. I don't know if that answered your question.
It does, and it's something you could go and explore.
Okay.
And not be doing any harm to any other sentient kind, but still allowing that energy to be expressed.
Okay.
Okay.
And, also maybe remind yourself that dragons don't just, ruin everything with fire, or even you could say cleanse everything with fire. They are huge programmers of this reality. They're amazing creators, Look into the dragon teaching, Andrew's got out there. There's maybe quite a few ideas you can pick up, how you can start co-creating with your dragons.
Yay! Thank you, Robert. I love it.
The fastest beamer in the West.
That's awesome.
Yes.
And I did have a question. Oh, can I ask a question regarding when you're talking about programming or the blocks that are coming up? Is there a way to discern? I don't know why this feels important, but looking at, is it a past life program, or is it more of this lifetime programming that's shutting down?
So my answer to everyone that asks me that exact same question over and over and over again, 99% of the time, is what you created this lifetime. If you are a person that de facto chooses it's a past life issue, you have externalization issues and you're avoiding stuff inside yourself. 99% of the time, it's what you did this lifetime.
Got it. Okay.
So stop externalizing to I'll blame it on the past life. Past life just means you have an affinity to something. And what an affinity means is when you get into the experience, you're really good at it. Whether it's a good or bad experience, you're really good at having that type of experience.
Got it. Okay. Thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. Thanks a lot for calling in.
You're welcome.
Okay. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, Elena K.
Elena K, are you there?
Oh, yes, I am.
Hi, how you doing?
I'm good. Now listening to you guys, I'm good. How are you doing?
Great. Where are you calling from?
I'm calling from Greece.
Yes, I know exactly you are. That's for everyone else. What did you think of the experience we shared?
Well, this experience was great. Thank you, guys. Thank you, Martina, for sharing this. It's, I'm sure, not easy. For 2 weeks now, I have a connections with my dragon, and after she said dragon, it was like my dragon said, hi, yes, she's talking about that. Oh, and okay. And now you answered just the last questions about the dragons. So thanks, guys. Thanks a lot.
You're welcome.
Definitely needed, because things are a little bit crazy here right now. Everywhere, actually, but here tensely with a double earthquake, and everything is a little bit tense, but we'll go through that like we always do.
Yeah, earthquakes in Greece are as old as Greece.
Exactly. Maybe even Earth tells them, "Wake up, guys! Just wake up, please. Just look around. Just Earth. And this year is also 200 years of the revolution.
Oh wow!
From
So
1821.
Kolokotronis and his revolution.
So these energies are really, really coming back, especially from the beginning of the year.
And for anybody that doesn't know, Kolokotronis was a great Greek general, and his name translates to "rock in the ass" or "hard ass."
Yeah.
Okay. When I learned that history, I laughed my ass off for weeks.
Yeah, but he did great things. He's still known. I mean, in Greece, we say if he knew what we Greeks do now, he would turn in his grave a lot of times.
He'd let the Turks take over.
Oh my God! Yeah, the never-ending story, like really never-ending story.
Right.
Okay, guys.
Thanks
A lot.
Thanks a
I
lot
just wanted to say hi and thanks. Bye-bye.
All right, Martina, let's do one more call. All right, Robert, let's spin up the wheel of callers and see who is next.
Okay, the mysterious iPhone, signal to unmute.
Mysterious iPhone, are you there?
Hi, how are you?
Hi, where are you calling from?
I'm calling from France.
France, welcome to the show. What did you think of the experience that we all went through?
I think I've missed the beginning. I've begun when Martina was with a fish and she was able to see her name, and it was amazing.
Mm-hmm. What did you experience? What were you feeling through it?
I tried to connect with what I experienced. It was very strange the moment when she connected to her future self, and after to go back to the present, and it was saying her that everything is here and there is nothing to look for. It was making me a feeling of feeling somehow for me, because I feel sometimes like time distortions in me, maybe.
Mm-hmm. So do you think you're going to be able to use this experience to help yourself?
I will listen to it from the beginning again, and maybe I don't know if I will be able to project my consciousness like that, but
yes, you can. Don't limit yourself.
Okay.
The whole point is allowing yourself to do it out of the storytelling state, so that it naturally evolves as an experience.
Okay.
So if I can ask you a question, so what does the Edge of Unknowingness mean to you? What does it look like for you?
It's hard to answer. I think I have difficulties to have limits in my life. So I'm working on grounding and having limits. So I think I have a tendency to be in unknowingness in what I do or live. And so, yeah, or I don't know. I can answer maybe. Yeah. The Edge of Unknowingness is maybe going where it's not comfortable, where I feel my inner guidance to say me, it's what you have to tell this, you have to experience this, and trusting in it.
Mm-hmm. You know, it's quite interesting because we're talking about the edge. So it's an edge of unknowingness. If you get a literal metaphor on this one now, so what does that actually look like for me? And you seem to be quite familiar to walking that edge of unknowingness, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
So which then, is often an interesting way to look at, because it can be a lonely place being at the edge of unknowingness. Not many people want to actually join us at the edge of unknowingness, right?
Yes.
Not everyone wants to go into that beyond the edge into unknowingness. And sometimes it might be useful to take yourself away from the edge, as you say, and really work on the grounding, but literally walk away from the edge and walk back or to the side, away from the edge, where you can actually start finding people to connect with you with much more ease. And then from that place, you can start, doing little journeys to the edge, but having almost like a little, a spot where you feel grounded, where there are people and everything. And then you just take those little journeys.
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah.
You gotta give yourself the chance and opportunity for the set of experiences you're allowing yourself to have to begin to stack up. That's why she said short journeys.
Yeah. And have that grounded space. This is almost like your camp. You've got a camp there. Make that a sacred camp, where you have your fire, where you have your tools and everything. And then from that space, there might be people around you. They might come with you to that camp where you can all be together. And then they may or may not come with you to the next level. But you always need to have a space where you can go back to anchor yourself in here. There's no point. We're not saying you should live. Nobody should live on the edge of unknowingness. Yeah. This is not, it's not a place where you want to live, but it's a place you can go and visit.
Okay, it's an imaginary place that is in the dream world, or what?
It's in your storytelling world.
Okay. Yeah.
And that's the whole point, to make it as a part of your storytelling world so that your creativity, co-creativity, and the many conjoined aspects of you start adding energy to its potentiality each and every time you revisit and add and add and add and add, to the point you begin to trust yourself in this creative flow that is a natural experience, that will gain wisdom, that will show you many aspects of your multidimensional self and ways to learn about the edge of the unknowingness.
Okay. So this inside narrator that is thinking when I think to my past, or this inner tell story to myself, I transform it by imagining a sacred place and some relationship and see what it brings to me.
No, don't start with something really simple, like a fishing story. Don't complicate the story right away.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Make it a camping trip where you set up camp and you go to the water's edge and you cast out the line. Okay. Start simple. Far too many people want to complicate it right away and go to the inner earth and this and that. That will only bog you down and keep you in the mind and not on that turning off those programs.
Yeah, okay. Last week I've experienced drumming travel, and after it was a dance to feel the empowerment animal, and it was a white dragon. So yeah. So I was thinking to that also, yeah.
All right, brother. Thanks a lot for calling in.
Thanks a lot for all you do. Bye-bye.
So, Martina, any afterthoughts on your experience?
I loved it. And I love the feedback from all the callers, and there are so many different levels of teaching, right? And how can we teach by just having fun and sharing our experience sometimes, without having any expectations, and just allowing people to take whatever they want to take from it, but trusting yourself that whatever comes up for a reason. It's part of your story. It's part of your energy. It's part of who we are.
And the journey for you, none of your shutdown programs really turned on. It was just an understanding of how to let the energy go into that tongue and then enter that flow, which was an unknown state for you, even though you've done it many times in your life before.
It's so often, you know, when we do that type of work and we have these dialogues and everything, it's so much is in the acknowledgement, you know, because so much we innately do. Like the last caller, I mean, there was a reason why I suggested the camp, because he knows how to travel.
Yeah.
He travels all the time. And lots of people, you know, I often, when we travel all the time and we don't acknowledge it, it's the opposite that what we actually need to focus on. It's the grounding of that. And remember, there was a time where when the fish gave me, you know, the information, Andrew helped me to bring it into the body, you know. And again, with the dragon, you want to bring the information into the body and then into your field so that it is available and you can, you know, start working with it. You want to actually start manifesting with that, you know, at some stage, so that your story, your visualization becomes real in this reality.
Mm-hmm. And you are the one that makes it real.
You are the one that makes it real. Yes.
And with that being said, we have had an amazing teaching. We ask people to hit that like and subscribe button and put a comment for anybody that's listening post live show that's a part of the experience. Write into the comment what you felt, what you experienced. And for those of you that are going to listen a second and a third time, tell us about your experience. I'm sure Martina and I are going to do this again, and we're going to have an even better no plan.
Even better no plan, yes.
Okay? Where we're going to go to the edge of the unknowingness, and the unknowingness has the plan for us.
Absolutely. Thank you very much, guys. And thanks for playing. Huh?
You're welcome. You want to give a way for people to get a hold of you?
Yes, my website is synchholistic.co.uk, where you can book sessions with me. And also we have earthnouveau.com, where we do our Wednesday shows every week.
And you want to know who I am, you can go to my website, andrewbartzis.com, to find out more information, to sign up for the email list, and with all the great and wonderful things that we've got coming up this year. All right, Robert, take us away.
Bye.
Each different bubble of reality is true.
A galactic historian is a person that looks at all the lines of dramatic karma.
Nudge, nudge. It's the Holy Grail. Improvise. Mysterious. It's counter psychic intelligence.
Why is DNA farming of this star cluster so important?
Because we do manifest our reality. We do create our reality.